Hello everyone. How are you today? Today I thought it would be fun to do some more interesting facts about the world and beyond. So I hope you enjoy this lesson. The first fact we're going to talk about today is there are more bacteria in the human body than there are human cells. So this means that the average person is about 56% bacteria. I guess in the past, they used to think it was like 90%, so I guess that's better. So because bacteria is so light compared to human cells, by weight, every person is 99.7% human and not by bacteria, but that's just by weight and not quantity. So most of the bacteria in the human body isn't harmful and we shouldn't feel scared or threatened by it. So mitochondria, which you may have heard, mitochondrial DNA. So human cells contain structures called mitochondria. Mitochondria convert glucose into energy. They believe that most mitochondria begin as bacteria and then change as they form a symbiotic relationship with our bodies and our cells. Although mitochondria are independent organisms, technically, they never actually leave the barrier of our bodies. So they are not considered a bacteria. Interesting. The next fact is that Lego bricks withstand compression better than concrete. So the plastic used in Legos is a type of polymer called acrylonitrile butadiene citrine. ABS. Okay. I doubt I said that right. This is incredibly surprisingly strong. Researchers, for some reason, found that one Lego brick can support the weight of 375 other bricks before falling, before failing, like falling over or breaking, whatever. Unfortunately, this is far too expensive to use in actually building a building, but they do have similar concepts and like ways of construction where they use like the concept of Lego bricks and they fill the bricks with like cement, but it's the same kind of like idea, general structure. So the next fact is that your brain burns 400 to 500 calories per day. Forgot to put that this is your brain. So this is about a fifth of your total energy requirements. A lot of this has to do with controlling your muscles. It's only one L. And sensory input, which makes sense because your brain has to work really hard. In the last video about facts, we learned that time is processed differently for each person, and the faster you can process information, the faster time goes. Sensory input probably means that humans are overloaded with sensory input and information like all the time. We're just constantly processing information, which is why we're burning 400 to 500 calories per day with our brains. They've also come to understand that like problem solving, like really intricate, tricky, in-depth problem solving exudes a lot of energy from your brain and can burn more calories. So as a comparison, under anesthesia, your brain has to just keep like going, like processing, like breathing and just keeping you alive. In this case, your brain uses about 6 to 7 calories per hour. Scientists also say that the higher IQ that you have, the more calories you would burn because you're thinking about intricate problem solving or like working things out about the world, like in your brain all the time. You're just like thinking all the time. However, you cannot lose weight from thinking. So, unfortunate. Next fact, a lightning bolt is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. I absolutely did not know that, which is interesting because people get struck by lightning and survive. And there are a couple people out there who've been struck more than once and they've lived. So they've gone onto the surface of the sun 5 times. It's not quite right, but that's still a really interesting, weird fact. The temperature of a lightning bolt charge can be 30,000 degrees Celsius or hotter, which is also 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty scary. So the next fact has to do with holding your breath underwater. The person who has held their breath under the water the longest is someone named Budimir Sobat, who is Croatian. Average person can hold their breath underwater for 30 to 90 seconds. Budimir held his breath underwater for 24.5 minutes. I don't even understand that. That's just crazy. I don't know how they must like measure this. I don't know, they have like competitions or something, but that's almost seems unbelievable. So he has the world record for holding his breath underwater the longest, which to me is just terrifying. I thought this one was interesting. The Eiffel Tower is taller in the summer. So in the summer, the Eiffel Tower is 5.9 inches taller than it is the rest of the year. This is because thermal expansion occurs when a substance or object is heated and its particles move more, expanding their size. The phenomenon mostly occurs in gases, and it can happen in liquids and solid objects. Tall structures such as the Eiffel Tower are built with expansion joints, which I've heard of, to avoid any damage when thermal expansion occurs. So because of these expansion joints that they included, heat will create expansion. And these joints give the Eiffel Tower the chance to move 5.9 inches when that heat expansion does occur, thus not damaging the Eiffel Tower in the process. Our next fact is that electrons can possibly live forever. That sentence, live forever, is so weird to see in like a scientific setting, because there's like something alive that can live forever. That's crazy. That kind of goes against like what we see and believe about nature, but it is an electron. So it's different than just like a full biological being. You know what I mean? Scientists have estimated the minimum life time of an electron is about 6.6 times 1,028 years, which equals 66,000 Yoda years. So a Yoda year is the like largest form of measurement. This indicates that electrons are about 5 quintillion times the age of the entire universe. This fact kind of astounded me. So even if electrons don't actually live forever, they might as well, because they've already lived 5 quintillion times the age of the universe. That's one of those things I'm going to have to not think about at night. So, next, the rainforest produces and consumes about 20% of the Earth's oxygen. Which is interesting because it kind of just cancels itself out. So because it produces and then consumes, scientists refer to this as oxygen turnover. And this is because the amount of organic decomposition that happens in the rainforest, because of how like lush and diverse it is, that actually consumes about as much oxygen as it would produce, like annually, which is interesting because, there are 7 billion humans, at least, on this planet. And, the rainforest has so many trees and plants, and it would make sense that it produced about 20% of the Earth's oxygen, but none of that goes, pretty much anywhere else. Very self-sufficient, the rainforest. Hawaii moves about 3 feet closer to Alaska every year. This is because Hawaii sits on the Pacific plate. The Pacific plate is a tectonic plate, which I'm sure you've heard of. And this plate is moving closer to the mainland every year. Tectonic plates are always moving, and they believe this is because of constant movement in the ocean, the water, like the currents that are created by rising and falling rocks, is what they say. That this is causing this tectonic plate to move Hawaii with it, and each year it's moving closer to Alaska, which is interesting because they're quite opposite. One's very hot and one's very cold. The next fact is if you removed the empty space between atoms, the entire human race would fit inside of a sugar cube. Exclamation points on that. Atoms are made with a nucleus that are surrounded by electrons. 99.9% of this right here is just empty space. So we're pretty much just empty space, all of us. I'm going to save my 2 favorites for the end. So this one, the Statue of Liberty. Was once a lighthouse. I did not know that. So, from 1886 to about 1902 or so, about 16 years, the torch on the Statue of Liberty was lit, and you could see it from about 24 miles away. And that was used as a lighthouse, which I had no idea that the torch even lit up at all. I do live here. Okay. One of my favorite facts, Switzerland prohibits the ownership of just one guinea pig. How do you spell Switzerland? Just make sure. Yeah. Guinea pigs are extremely social creatures. They consider that one guinea pig would be so lonely that it would be considered animal abuse, which I wish they had this rule everywhere. I have 2 dogs, but I only had one for a really long time, so that would have been kind of rough for me. I love this. There are a lot of social animals out there. A lot of them are okay with just like human contact, or they actually get contact with other animals. The last fact we're going to talk about today is just sweet. The people who did the voices of Mickey and Minnie Mouse actually were married in real life. They actually got together and got married. So Wayne Mickey was someone named Wayne Alwyn, and Minnie was someone named Russie Taylor. These two were married from 1986 to 2019. That's so nice. I think that's really cute because it's like Mickey and Minnie. Like if you watch them in the cartoons, they really did love each other. Wasn't a lie. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson of weird and interesting facts. And I'll come up with another one soon. So I hope you got some relaxation, and I'll see you guys in the next video.